Hi everyone, my name is Trevor Swanky. I'm the CEO of WorldSkills Australia, and I'll be facilitating tonight's webinar. Thanks for joining us. Remember, the topic tonight is training your way to WA. This is all about you. This is the first webinar in a series of webinars that we'll be conducting over the next 10 months. Can I provide a special welcome to a range of our guests tonight? Our competitors for a start. This is about your training program on the way to WA. Can I welcome also our chief judges that are joining us here tonight, our category judges, our skills experts, our state and territory managers, and our regional coordinators. There's a real mix of people here tonight. I think I saw 120 odd people that have joined us here tonight. And we had a session 2 nights ago where we had a number of people, a lot more than this, join us the other night as well. So it's great that you're here tonight. You're representing some 60 skills categories across our WorldSkills agenda. You're not just representing your skills category, but as you go forward to that national competition, you're going to be representing your state and your territory as well. A couple of things I'd like to mention before we get started in the information for tonight. We won't have time to answer any of your questions tonight. It will be a bit of an information flow from myself and the panel to you. But you can write the questions and your comments down in the chat box. The other night, lots of people joined the chat box and had lots of interesting questions that the team from WorldSkills Australia endeavoured to answer throughout the night. And the ones that we could, we'll be providing that information later on. So please use the chat box. Get on there if you've got some questions. We're there to answer them for you. Please also remember to follow the WorldSkills Facebook and Instagram pages as well. So as you move forward in the agenda for the next 10 to 12 months in the lead up to the national competition, start to follow us, start to follow some of your colleagues. You're going to see a lot of the interactions that you're going to be part of over the next 10 months showing up in our social pages. Remember also to join your closed Facebook page that you've been invited to. And that's for your specific skill. So anyone that's competing in your skill at the Nationals will be on that closed page. So will your chief judge, who'll be inviting you to that page. So will the judges, so will the industry experts, and so will your coaches and mentors will be invited to that as well. So please make sure you use those Facebook pages. That's part of the agenda that we're going to talk about tonight. What I'd like to do, it's my pleasure to introduce our panel tonight. And we've got a very esteemed panel joining us tonight. And I thank them for their time because they are volunteering their time as they have done right up to tonight, some of them over a number of years. So first, and I'll get them to give a bit of a wave as they go, I can see on my screen, Patrick Brennan, our 2019 Skillaroo, represented in the category of refrigeration air conditioning, who also achieved a bronze medal and will be a national judge in this round of competitions. Lily Campbell. Lily is the 2017 Skillaroo in the beauty category, and she achieved a bronze medal and is also a national judge. So you'll see a lot more of her in the year to come. Josh Boone, a 2019 Skillaroo in cabinet making, achieving a medal of excellence and will also be a national judge. Donna Di Maria is an international chief expert in hairdressing and has a wealth of international experience, and she'll be sharing some of that tonight as well. Brendan Hibber, an international expert and national chief judge in graphic design. Ryan Grieger, you might not see Ryan on the screen, but he's certainly joining us here tonight. He's a 2017 Skillaroo and bronze medallion in carpentry, and will also be a national deputy chief judge at the national competition. And last but not least, Rachel Sullivan, who is the current Australian team leader and mentor and has been for quite some time. So Rachel will also be sharing her expertise and experience here tonight. So it's my pleasure to also give you a bit of a brief, I guess, on this webinar for tonight. So some of you have competed in a regional competition. Well, you all have. And you've got to that stage where you've now been invited to the national competition. That is fantastic, and you need to be absolutely congratulated on that. So your regional competition was a one-day competition. The national competition is a bit of a step up. It's a 3-day competition. And it doesn't stop there. But for those that are successful in achieving excellence at a national competition, will be invited to attend the international competition, which will be held in Shanghai, in China, in September next year. So on our last night on the last night of our national competition, when we award our medalists, we'll also be announcing our national team to represent Australia. And you're representing your country at an international competition with a number of other competitors from 83 member countries from around the world. It's the Skill Olympics. It's just like watching the Olympic Games on TV. You're going to be part of that if you represent Australia. If I come back to the national competition, it's going to be a significant step up from your regional competition that you attended. The national is going to be fantastic. We're expecting somewhere in the vicinity of 500 competitors, somewhere in the vicinity of 300 judges and experts that will be attending. And we look forward to somewhere in the vicinity of 15 to 20,000 spectators coming through that event. So we want to make sure that we prepare you for that experience in the best way that we can. We've postponed the competition, not cancelled. We postponed it until next year. We've given ourselves 12 months to get through the COVID-19 and the pandemic that's with us at the moment. It's a terrible thing. And I guess I know that we're all out there. We've all had to deal with it in different ways. Some of you, from a personal experience, some from a work experience. And we really are conscious of what everyone's had to go to over this period of time. But we're here to support you in getting to that national competition. We want to make sure that you're prepared the best that you can be when you arrive in Perth. So those Facebook pages, the training plans that you're going to be created in the next month or so with your chief judges, the preparation about travel and accommodation, all those things are being organised for you at the moment. You'll get to hear more and more about it. You've probably got lots and lots of questions that you'd like answers for. And that's what this series of webinars will do for you over the next couple of months. We're going to give you as much information as we can to give you the best opportunity when you attend that national competition. So the national competition, when you get to Perth, obviously, you'll be acclimatized to the hotels that you're staying at. You'll get to see the venue. You'll be part of an opening ceremony. You'll then do your familiarization the first day that we're there. The next 3 days, you'll compete in your chosen skill areas. We'll be running a large careers expo at the same time where all of the skills students from around Perth and the surrounds will be coming in to have a look at what's happening and see the skills that are on show. It is a skills show. It's also a competition. So we want to make sure that we benchmark the best skills that we have in Australia. And that's why you guys are coming along to that event. So what we've got to do and what we're going to support you and talk about tonight is how we can best support you and how others have done it in their journey along the way. So I think we're here to encourage your participation in this training plan and program that's going to run for the next 10 months. And we encourage you to participate in it as much as you can. And so you're going to hear from a few people tonight around that. And we need to learn from others. So you're saying, well, this national championship sounds really exciting. I want to show you a little bit about what happened in 2018 at a national championship and skills show in Sydney. Let's have a look at that video now. How cool is that? I can see that you're looking at that. Put yourself into that picture in 10 months' time. You're going to be there. You're going to be part of it. And it's going to be just as fantastic and exciting as what you saw in that video. That was a fantastic event in Sydney. And this is going to be even bigger and better in Perth. And we're really, really looking forward to it. There's a lot of preparations going into it at the moment. And a big hello to all of our people over there in Perth at the moment. It's good that you could join us here tonight. We're going to get into the panel and we're going to hear from some of our experts that have been part of this journey in WorldSkills for a period of time. And they're going to share some of their experiences with you as well. So Donna, your first cab off the rank tonight. I know that with your fairly experienced at both regional, national and international level, and you've been training your competitors in a virtual sense for some time now. Can you share how that's worked and how that's benefited your competitors in the long term?
Hi, Trevor. Can everyone hear me? Oh, good?
Yes.
Great. Fantastic. Okay. Yeah, I started in 1991 with WorldSkills at a regional level. And then in 2005, I went to a national, started getting involved more in the 2004, 2005. And I've been involved internationally since 2007. So when we've had our regional competitions and when I took over as the chief expert for hairdressing, what I started to do is I've got all the competitors from all around the region, around Australia, I should say, and we started doing June every year to give them all the opportunity to train. We held a training event wherever Hair Expo was. Once a year, Hair Expo is always held for hairdressing. We brought them all together and we did an actual on-site training event. Then when we got to international, a lot of the times my competitor wasn't from the same side of the country as I was. So I've had a lot of competitors from WA. So that has meant that I'm on one side of Australia and they're either 2 hours or 3 hours behind me. So we had to then design a program that would work for them. And because it wasn't financially viable to be flying back and forwards all the time, we then looked at what technology we could utilize. So we started Alexis in 2011. She competed in London. We started training via Skype. So we'd set up Skype sessions at a particular time of a night that suited her when she had finished work and I had finished work, so which was 2 hours behind me. So sometimes it was like 8 o'clock at night, and then we had a training program which we'd follow, and I'd set her tasks to do, and then she would do the task. I'd visually watch her do the task, and then she would go away and then keep training what we'd learnt that night. She would train, and then 2 nights later she'd come back with what she had learned. So using the technology was a really, really good opportunity for us, for me to be able to see her doing it like face-to-face in real time. She also took videos as well, but we actually found the face-to-face was really good because I could give her like interaction straight away and give her feedback. So what we're looking at doing for nationals is that, yeah, the same type of thing. So all the competitors that are at a regional level, you're going to have this great opportunity to be able to experience this virtual training from a regional level, getting ready to a national. So this is, to me, a great chance for all of you to increase your skills. And the outcome of it is that you can find that you can finish your training earlier, your actual skill level gets improved, and you can then, like what Alexis and Hayley have both done, they're great ambassadors for us for the hairdressing industry. Thanks, Trevor.
Donna, that's fantastic, because I know at this time we've all had to, and we're doing that tonight, we're having to deal with technology, and we're working through the challenges of it, and we're just making things happen. And I think that's the important thing, is that sometimes we'd like to just do it in a face-to-face and side-by-side and in a workshop as we've normally done in the past, or a classroom, but that's not possible at the moment. So let's make use of the technology, and you've just proved to everyone that you've been able to do it and do it very successfully. So I think that's a bit of a message to us all, is we can make the technology work. And once you get to know the people, the use of video conferencing, it's just like being in the same room. It's an extension of the table, and you can actually, you can show, you can do, and you can actually teach and train as well. So a great example. So thanks for that, Donna. I know you're going to come back and join us again shortly. So I'm just going to check to see if I've got Ryan on board. Are you there, Ryan?
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can, Ryan. Thanks for that.
Wonderful.
I don't think we can see you, but that's fine. We just want to be able to hear some of your story as well. So, Ryan, I understand that you trained remotely at home, and that's obviously, as Donna said, there's some challenges in doing that. Tell us a little bit about how you did your training and what motivated you to keep going and to, you come home from work and you've got to do your training or on the weekend and that. Talk a little bit about that for us.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, well, I live 2 hours from my TAFE facility in Adelaide, which is where I was training one night a week coming into the Nationals. But spending 4 hours driving there, like 2 hours there and 2 hours back for a couple of hours training, yeah, got pretty tiring, and yeah, I was soon over that. But yeah, training with my mentor was really good. So yeah, I had to go that one night a week to train. So in the end, I ended up purchasing materials myself out of my own pocket and training at home. And so that way, I'd go to my mentor one night a week, and then be able to train at home 2 or 3 other nights a week. And yeah, and do extra training that way. Yeah, training for that was for the national competition. For the international competition, my expert lived in Sydney, which made it pretty much impossible to train with him. So he set up a Facebook page where he was able to send me plans and information, and I could ask questions and upload photos of my training. And then he would send back feedback and tips to improve through that. For materials, we contacted my TAFE facility, and they saved me a lot of money and helped make the training and my training at home a lot less stressful and a lot easier. In terms of what motivated me, I think for me it was a strong desire to do well, as simple as that sounds. Having a hunger to learn and a desire to improve. I mean, you're never gonna learn much or do very well if you don't have a desire or aren't enjoying what you're doing. This comes from knowing what the rewards are at the end and how it can benefit you. A bit of hard work now can mean a lifetime opportunity and skills that can take you all over the world. But yeah, for me, it was knowing that this was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and knowing that the harder I train, not only the better I'll do in competition, but the better carpenter I'll be at the end of it, benefiting me now and throughout my whole career. I did learn a lot on my WorldSkills journey. My attention to detail, my hand skills, time management, planning were all some of the skills that saw significant improvement in. But it's the other basic ones like my math, communication, writing, even the little things like how to draw a line with a pencil, all improved going through WorldSkills. So yeah, I think it definitely took a lot of hard work, dedication, and sacrifice training for WorldSkills. But yeah, can honestly say it's absolutely worth it. And yeah, I'd certainly do it all over again.
Ryan, that's brilliant, mate. Thank you for sharing that. I think there's some real gems in what you just said. I hope people will take that in, because I guess you're a testament of someone who had a goal, had a plan, had a desire, and a passion to get out and do it. So congratulations on your journey. I know it's only part of the journey still so far for you. You're on the next stage of that, but I think there's some real important aspects of what you talked about in there. And that's what we're doing for everyone here. We're actually creating a training plan in the next few weeks with you that will actually help you get to that national and be as prepared as you can. Yes, and it's great for those that will win their categories and get medals, but every competitor that goes to the national, that goes through this training program, will be a much better person because of it. You'll actually come away from your training through these Facebook pages and work with your chief experts and judges with additional techniques, knowing more about the equipment, knowing more about the consumables you're going to work with, just knowing more about your trade in general. So use the opportunity. It's going to help you in the workplace. It's going to help and benefit you in the workplace as well, as it has done for some of our panelists here tonight. So Ryan, I know we're going to share a little bit more of your story shortly, and people will see what you actually set up at home. So that's fantastic. Thank you for that.
Yeah, no worries.
Brendan, we talked a little bit tonight around technology, because we've got 100 and something people out there panel. We're using technology. I know that you firsthand are very an expert in using technology to train your competitors and to also give feedback. Can you please give us some of your insights as to how effective this can be in the training for a competition?
Yes, certainly. I'm coming through okay?
Absolutely.
Well, my competitor was based in Sydney and I'm here in Perth, WA. So we relied heavily on technology last year to stay connected. I was unable to watch her work, so she would screen record and time lapse her work, and it naturally evolved into this time lapse screen record system, and it was a real breakthrough for us. We could watch and witness her decision making process, and I was able to give instant feedback to that. It also engaged other skill squad members on the private Facebook group, and it meant that other competitors in different skills were able to comment and vote on their favourite designs and point out areas that India, had done really well on and keep her motivated. And other skills can do this really easily as well. So I love watching the brickies stack up straight piers and cabinet makers build drawers that slide in perfectly into cabinetry. So ensure you look at the time-lapse option, use a GoPro or set up your mobile phone. Most of the iPhones have inbuilt functions for time-lapse, and it's really important to complement your training and keep yourselves accountable by showing your mentor and your trainers in other states so they can see your concentration, you'll see tasks through, and then that can be studied and reviewed and rewound and allows them to help point out your shortfalls. And the same applies to judges and training managers who logged on tonight. I started recording myself critiquing Indy's work using the same sort of method. And the penny dropped for Indy when we introduced the CIS marking system, and she could see where she was losing marks. So if it's not in your training plan, make sure that the CIS marking system's carefully spelt out to the competitors. It made a real difference to the way we trained Indy and gave her confidence internationally. So the technology is here to assist, and use Facebook to keep yourselves accountable. Thanks, Trevor. Some
great advice and support there as well, Brendan. Thank you for that. And we're going back to those Facebook that have been set up for each of the skills categories. So please, if you haven't got into them, get into them. And that's where we're going to be starting to work with you around the training and the journey through to WA. So let's continue getting around the panel if we can. Lily, you did a lot of your training in the workplace in your preparations. Can you give some of the competitors some insight and some advice and some of the tips about how they can use the skills that they gain through training and not just in competition, but also in the workplace as well?
I can. Can everyone hear me?
Absolutely.
Yes. Okay, cool. So yeah, I did do a lot of my training in the clinic or in my workplace, in my clinic, which was very handy because not all trades can sort of do their training at their workplace, but I was lucky enough to be able to. So many of the skills that you do gain throughout your WorldSkills journey are transferable, not just in the workplace, but also into your everyday life as well. I found just the overall personal growth, not just for me, there were so many other competitors that you could notice their personal growth as the time went on, and as the more you got to know your the other people in your team, especially internationally, you get you're a bit more of a closer bond, I guess. But so yeah, personal growth is a huge one. You just learn to become really efficient at pretty much everything that you do. You have, especially coming into the international, but in the lead up to the national competition, you still have to get yourself into line and really commit to your training plan. And in doing that, you just become really efficient at all of your tasks that you need to complete within your training. Your organisation, there's a diary. Like, I never used a diary until WorldSkills, and you just keep to that. Time management, your personal motivation. I think that's something that's really that really grows. You cannot do something like WorldSkills without having some kind of personal, like, you need to be able to self-motivate. But there are still plenty of other people around you that can help motivate you as well. But yeah, and completing tasks quickly and efficiently to a high standard, which obviously is what you need for competition standards. But a big thing too I found was my leadership skills really grew as well. you will all have a mentor or a coach that sort of helps you along your journey. I was lucky enough to have Naomi to be my national mentor as well as my international mentor. So she grew me as a therapist 1000%. Like, she was amazing. So you learn a lot of their leadership skills. You take on board what they teach you. And now I have a clinic that I manage, and I can mentor and lead my girls at the clinic from what I've learned through my WorldSkills journey as well. And all of these things, I guess, make you more employable. So bosses are always on the lookout for people with all these kinds of traits. So at the end of the day, you're getting so much more out of WorldSkills than just competing in a competition. Like I said, the personal growth, but the more you put in to WorldSkills, the more you get out of it. Yeah.
That's a great way to finish on that, Lily. I think there's some fantastic messages and pieces of advice for all the competitors out there as well. And you talked about the bonding of the team, and I know as as an Australian team comes together, and Rachel can talk more about this because she puts it all together at the end of the day. What we're saying with the journey and the trip to WA is that you get the opportunity to bond with everyone in your skills category now. So you'll get to see the faces, because we'll be not just doing the Facebook, but we'll be doing Zoom activities and that as well. So you'll get to know when you turn up in WA who your competitors are. So I think that's not a bad thing, and you'll grow some fantastic networks along the way. I know that the times I've been in WorldSkills for a number of years, and we keep talking about the WorldSkills family. So with the 400 to 500 competitors and all the volunteers we got out there, we're increasing the size of our WorldSkills family every time we have a competition and every time we go out there and do stuff. So Lily, thanks for that, some great advice, and hopefully you'll be back to join us in a few minutes. Patrick, you're waiting patiently for us up there, I can see. You did a lot of your training at TAFE Queensland. What differences do you see in your performance at work while training for a WorldSkills competition? And how did your employer take that? How was it seen at work?
So I was pretty lucky to be able to train at TAFE Queensland. I had great support from the teachers and everything like that. It was quite a bit of a journey. It's about a couple of hours drive there. So it was a big effort, but it made it well worth it. So yeah, doing that progressed me through my trade a lot quicker than usual. I got to really get through my TAFE quickly and excel in my trade. So yeah, it helps you complete your jobs at a whole lot higher standard to what you were doing, and you have to learn new skills and develop yourself very, very rapidly from my experiences. My employer were great. They were great support for me. So they donated a lot of time, just paying me to train really. But I also go back to them in what I was doing. They were putting me on a lot bigger jobs than I probably could have been doing if I didn't do all that extra training. So they trusted me and gave me large jobs to extend my knowledge and put me in the deep end a little bit. But it was great for me in the long run to give back to my boss through that way.
I think it's fantastic. That's another great story, Patrick. And I think when we start to think about it, you've got a lot of you have got employers out there that I guess you're going to need time to train. You're going to need time to participate in that national event, and you need their support on that journey as well. And not just their support is important for you to grow as a tradesperson and to develop those excellent skills. And you are bringing those skills back to them, and that will increase their productivity at the end of the day. And I think that's bringing them in, keeping the communication going with your employers, as well as your mentors and judges, but your employers are really, really important. So keep the conversation going. Let them know what you're learning in your journey in the preparation on the way to WA as well. So I think I can't stress that enough. Your relationship and partnership with your employer is critical. So Josh, are you there, mate? Just checking to see if Josh can hear me. Not quite sure, but I'll come back to Josh shortly. So I talked a little bit about Ryan before. So Ryan's going to, I guess, not talk about this, but we've got a bit of a video to show you on some of the training in the lead up to an international competition from Ryan. And Josh, we'll come back to you in a moment, mate. If we can play the video, that'd be great. Okay, you can see from that video that there was a lot of training that Ryan put in. It wasn't just the technical side. Obviously, your own personal well-being is really, really important when you're putting in such long days at work. You're doing the training. You've got to look after yourself as well. And I think that's a great story for people that want to have a look at. If you want to look at the full video, it's up on the YouTube site. So please get in and have a bit of a look at that as well. Josh, can I just do a sound check? Are you there, mate? I just need to connect in, Josh. Are you there, Josh? I think he's coming. We'll give him a moment. As you can appreciate, the connections right across Australia, I think we're doing fairly well. Josh, can you hear me at all? Maybe still a few gremlins in some of the system that we've got there. That's okay. I'm going to go to Rachel, who's I can see in the corner waiting patiently as well. Rachel, you've got a lot of experience in managing, teams and competitors from a regional sense, from a national sense, and also a wide experience at the international. So what sort of mindset do you think you need in getting into getting ready for this competition to lead up to the national? Because I think it's pretty important that people think about the commitment that they need to put forward. It's a fantastic opportunity. So how do you think some of our competitors need to approach this?
So yeah, it's definitely a commitment that they're going to need. I'm guessing you can hear me because no one's shaking their head at me. I suppose the first thing they're going to want is they're going to want it. So they're going to want to improve, and they're going to have to want to succeed, and improve themselves more than anything else, and improve their skill set. So, if you want to be that average bloke or woman on the worksite, WorldSkills is not the organisation for you. It's the organisation for you if you want to be better than that. You want to be the person that somebody comes to and asks for help, and somebody that inspires the young tradespeople on site. Then this is the organisation for you, but you have to want it. So I suppose, we've all been to TAFE, to our training providers, and there's that, they always use that horrible word competent, my least favourite word in the world. And, oh yes, that person was competent in that. I don't want someone competent to build my house. I don't want someone competent to pluck my eyebrows. I don't want someone competent to fix my fridge. I want someone excellent to do it. I want my fridge to, work for yonks. I want my eyebrows to look speck. I want my house to be straight. I don't want any of this competent rubbish. So, do you want to be excellent? Do you want to push yourself to be that little bit better than everybody else? Some of us are more competitive than others. I'm pretty competitive, but we all have that little bit of competitiveness in us. So we can all harness a little bit, even just a small piece to push ourselves to be that person that, that wants to be the most successful. And you might not be the most successful at the Nationals in Perth, but you still might be the best on your workplace. You're the best in your region. You might be the best in your state. So these are all things that, to look at as well. Also, you have to understand what it's going to take. So it's not going to be a walk in a park, we're not all just going to walk over to Perth and hug and love and, jump up and down and like we saw in the video, that's the end game. We're actually going to do a lot of work before we get there. So part of it's going to have to be understanding what you're going to be judged on. So no use building the most beautiful cabinet that I adore and I really want in my lounge room if it wasn't the cabinet that the judges wanted you to build. If it's 4 foot tall instead of 3 foot tall, you're not going to get any marks. So understand what the judges are looking for. Build me a beautiful brick archway, and it wasn't supposed to be an arch. You're not going to get the marks for that either, as beautiful as it might be. So understand your marking scale, understanding what the judges are looking for and how to be successful. So it's not just about being successful, but also understanding how to be successful. take the advice of these people that we're going to set up on these Facebook pages, and to other competitors, and listen to these past competitors that are here, and someone from a past competition is going to be on every Facebook page, is my understanding. So listen to what they have to say. They've been there, they've done that. They didn't win by fluke. There's no one out there that's won by fluke. They've won because they've put in the work. When we get our national events as a general rule, and we can select our international team, they're 40% prepared for the international events. The competitors for this round of competitions are going to have a huge advantage. They're going to be 90% ready for the international events, because we're only going to have a few months to train them up. So rather than having 20 people trained to be elitists, we've got the whole country is going to be trained to be elitists along with your trainers. So, but you're going to have to want to put the effort in to get there.
That's great. Thanks, Rachel. That's excellent advice. It might be nice to go to Western Australia if you haven't been there before. It's a beautiful place to go, but we're going there for a reason, and it's and there's a lot of preparation to go into that reason. So one of the things you talked about is the Facebook page and the support you get from that. I think the other support that you will be looking for and you will get is the support from a local coach, mentor, or trainer. And I know the different words, but it's a person to help support you back in your local community. So if you're in a small country town and you do your TAFE training there, and you've got a teacher from the TAFE or the training provider that you use, you need to be knocking on their door. You need to be finding the person that can help support you at a local level as well. And I think that's important. So if we've got 500 competitors, we'll expect to see 500 trainers or coaches or mentors, people out there to give you that local support, as well as the expertise that sit within your Facebook page and that as well, because it's always good to have the local support. If you're not sure, if you're worried about that, you've got your regional coordinators, the people that within your region that have got you into these competitions, that are probably starting to annoy you about getting registered for the competition, which is everything you've done. So I think there's a great opportunity there to make sure you connect with those people. I'm going to try Josh once more and see if we can hear Josh. You there, mate?
Can you hear me?
We can. Great to have you,
lovely.
mate. That's fantastic. We can't see you, but we can certainly hear you, and we'd love to hear some of your message tonight. So, Josh, if I can throw a couple of questions to you, because I've got you on the stage now, so I'm not going to let you go for a minute. The first one is, there's a transition to run from a regional competition to a national competition. So I'd love for you to just explain what you think the transition would look like going from that regional competition, which everyone's competed in, to the national from your perspective. And the second part of that is everyone's an individual. Everyone's got something different that impacts on their life outside. So you've had to balance family life, work life, training and everything right through your journey in WorldSkills through to the international. Just give us a little bit of advice from yourself about how you've done that. So 2 questions for you there, mate.
Yep. So I think something I learned pretty early on training for nationals was that you need to get your balance in your life correct, like your balance between your work life, your family life, and your social life. Because now you're adding training into that as well. So obviously that's going to take up a portion of your life. So you need to let your friends and family know about WorldSkills and the journey you're embarking upon. Not only so that they can support you, but they can also understand that, you're not going to be around as much as you could be to hang out with your mates, or you might not be able to go out and party because, you're training for a national event and possibly even international. It's a big step up, but no one would be here even watching this right now if they weren't competitive and didn't want gold in China. Making time to train for myself in particular was difficult because at the time I had a newborn son. So, I looked at what activities were essential to me and what things like playing video games, social media and whatnot, I could sacrifice. Everybody's life is different, but you can always work around commitments you have and make sacrifices in those places. I looked at what time I started work. I said to my boss, look, hey, I know we don't start at 7:30, I generally get up at 4 o'clock to feed the baby, so it would be all right if I came in at 5 o'clock, since I'm already going to be up, do a couple of hours training in the morning, instead of sitting down doing nothing, be a bit more productive in that sense. But, not everybody's like that. Some people might have a long commute to work on the bus or the train or whatever. So you spend that time reviewing plans, going over your schedule. Even a few hours here and there, everything over the weeks and months adds up. The best training you can get is dedicated time with your mentor. Like everybody will get a mentor. That's the goal here. So work with your mentor. You guys are going to be a team together through this. So as much time as you can get to work together, be that online or in person, is going to be great for you. That's the best training. But you also need to remember, which is something I probably didn't think too much on at the time, but I wish I had a bit more of a thing about, was to leave a bit of time for yourself to unwind. Spend time with your friends and family. Don't cut them off to the point where you're so focused on the competition that you're getting a bit of anxiety. You're thinking, I'm not good enough for this, whatnot. That's rubbish. You're at this point because you are good at what you do. You just need to know, you have self-doubt. Just put that to the side and know you can do this. Keep training, stay focused, and you will have a good shot at goal if you put in the time and the effort.
Josh, that's great advice, mate. And I'm glad you connected back in and you can join us and share that with everyone. I think that's some really important stuff. And it just goes, like I said, everyone's got their own variations in life as to what's going on with them in their personal lives. And you've done a fantastic job and you're a great testament of what can be done if you actually put your mind to it. I'm just going to put Patrick and Lily on notice for a minute because they don't see this one coming. There's been a question out there about your most favourite part of being involved in WorldSkills. So think about that for a minute because I'm going to come back to both of you. That'll put you on notice. And while I go to Donna for a moment. Donna, you've trained WorldSkills competitors at a very high level for a long period of time now. Why do you think it's worth all of the hard work for them to do it? Why would they put it all in? What are they going to get out of it at the end of the day?
Okay, you can hear me, everyone? Yes?
Yep.
Okay, firstly, and I didn't say this originally, I want to say congratulations to all the competitors out there that are going to be going to WA. You're not going there because you won in a lottery or, there was no one else. You had to win your way to get there. So you've already through the first step. So you need to realise that you are now at the moment the best in your region. You now have the opportunity to take up this training that WorldSkills is offering, which is amazing this time. Remembering if you're listening to what people are saying, you're getting the opportunity to train at what we would normally train our competitors leading up to an international competition. So there's very few people that have had this opportunity. When you think of how many competitions that Australia has competed in internationally, you're now going to be part of that elite team that are going to have, I think there's probably, we started in 88, our Australian national, we held the international here. But, there's only so many of people that get this opportunity to get this level of training. And it's free. Like, what training is free nowadays? So this is so good for you. And remembering you're going to be working with your mentors. And I always say to my competitors when I start, I say, some days you're going to love me. Some days you're going to hate me. You go, oh my God, it's not Donna again, or it's not my mentor, or it's not my trainer. But remember, it's not about me. Like, I have my day job too, and so does all your mentors and your trainers. We're giving our time because this is to try and make you the best that we can make you, so that when you get to Perth, you can perform at the best you can possibly be. And as a trainer, and when I do all the training that I've done for my competitors leading up to a national, I don't care where you're from. My idea is if I've got the best young hairdresser, whether, well, for me in hairdressing, whether at the back of wherever, if they don't have the opportunity to have someone to give them that training they need to perform at their best at the national, I want to make sure I can give them that opportunity. Because if we've got the opportunity to take someone overseas, I want the best that we've got in Australia. So this is what we're about here. So when someone says to you, go to this party or whatever, and you go, oh, this is your opportunity to be like the Olympians. This is your chance to possibly, in this situation, either get into, win a gold medal. Not many people get that opportunity to win a gold medal. And in some categories, you may get the opportunity to go internationally. So to represent your own country. And remember, imagine standing on that podium and going, wow, I did this. And it's not about, when you get to that stage, it's not about who, they won't say, who was your trainer or who was your mentor. We're not there. This is about you. This is something I can't make you train. No one can make you do anything. This is something that, and you keep hearing people say, this is something that you have to want. And this is all about you. All this time that we all give, everything we do is to make you the best you can possibly be. So please, if this is what you want, like Rachel's saying, if this is what you want, take this opportunity and run for it. Whether you win gold at when you get to WA, that would be amazing. This is your chance to be like when you hear Ryan and Patrick and Lily and everyone speaking and Josh speaking about it, how much your skills can advance and how you can be an elite in your area, whether it be hairdressing or plumbing or bricklaying or we've got refrigeration or beauty, and this will all help you with your future. So this is all about you, and this is an opportunity that you can take and run with. And I hope to see you all over in WA, and I hope that you all get really involved with this training. And, you know, think of your mentors. They're giving your time to you. All of the people, your judges and everything on your Facebook pages, remember, they've all had a hard day at work too, but we want to make sure that we can get the best competitor we can so that when we're displaying our industry over at WA and they can see how amazing we all are. So I hope that helps. Good luck. I hope to see you all. Train hard.
Thanks, Donna. And I'm sure those people that you trained over those years don't hate you anymore. I'm sure they look back over that and it was a fantastic journey. So well done. Now, I'm going to go to two of our skills Olympians very quickly, just to, you know, what's your favourite part of being involved in WorldSkills? Lily, you get to go first.
Okay. Can you hear me? Perfect. Yep. That's such a hard question because there's so many aspects of it that are so amazing. I think for me personally, winning a medal at the end of it all just makes the whole process and journey worth it. Standing on the podium in Abu Dhabi was definitely one of the most amazing experiences of my life. But being able to share it with such a great team as well, like our team just had the best bond, and seeing the other guys get up on the podium as well and just be like, oh my gosh, we did it. Like, it's been such a long journey coming from regionals all the way through. There's just something about it that you can't explain until you get there. But yeah, even just walking into a closing ceremony of an international competition is incredible. But yeah, I think one of the biggest things would just be how proud we were of everyone, whether they got a medal or not. We were there, we gave it our all, and it was an amazing 2 weeks. I think we were in Abu Dhabi, which was really, really cool. But there's just worth every minute that you put into it. Some days you're like, oh my gosh, is this going to end, or is the finish line ever coming? But at the end of it all, it's definitely worth it.
Brilliant response.
And you can't, and after it's done, you can't do it again. Like, you've got one shot, so just give it your all.
Great advice too. Thanks a lot, Lily. Patrick?
So I mean, the skills, the extra skills you get out of it, they're going to take that for the rest of your life. You're going to be able to get a job anywhere, pretty much. But the best part about it to me was the little family you have when I've never travelled internationally before, and the great WorldSkills family you had. That, like Lou was saying, you're having for everyone to get up on the podium, let alone yourself. And definitely the skills is where it was at for me. It's given me great opportunities, and get to meet people all over the world, and maybe even travel too.
That's brilliant, mate. And that's something for a lot of people to look forward to if they've never had the opportunity to travel and to be part of something like that. So another great response. Thank you. And I wish we'd had time to get around to everyone for those responses, but we just don't tonight. But I'm sure over time you'll share lots of the experiences. I'm going to come back to Brendan and Rachel to finish off. Brendan, how would you propose some of our competitors out there, all of our competitors, reach out to others for advice and support?
You can hear me okay? I'm coming through? Great. Your mentors, expert, and your judging teams have already started planning your training plan. So these plans and the team that's assembled to get the best out of you will hopefully include those connections to past competitors. I think Bridget mentioned in the last webinar that 35% of the judges are past competitors, and their perspective is invaluable. So my skill, which is graphic design, skill 40, we've got a triangle of a past competitor, an industry representative, and a TAFE lecturer. But every skill team is unique. Some will have decades worth of history and stories, and there's plenty of advice available. So I'd encourage you to look through the past Skillaroo feeds and relive their build up on Facebook, and your training team can point you to those, because you can actually watch them start where you are right now. So yeah, they can welcome some of these past competitors to the training circle.
Thanks. Good advice again. And Rachel, I will say you get to finish off, have the last word here tonight on this one. With your experience of being, I guess, a team leader and working with a lot of competitors and a lot of their mentors and coaches, if they're not sure about how to go about it, what's your advice about where to start and what they can do after tonight?
Yeah, so first can I clarify, because we're hearing these people are new to this, so there's a lot of words going around: mentor, trainer, expert, they're all the same thing. Judge, they're all the same thing. They're the person that's going to guide you through the whole process. So you need to find your person, basically, who is going to be your guide through this whole process. And they're going to help you to help you with your skills that are lacking. So you're going to have skills that are going to need improving, and some top up in some areas, and they're going to be able to, if they don't have the skills themselves to give to you, they're going to be able to find people out there who can. So you might have a mentor, might be the person that coordinates all of the trainers that come in and train you. It might be somebody in your workplace. It could be, anybody. It might not even be somebody in your trade area. So your first point of call to contact these people would be your RTO or your TAFE. And you're all rolling your eyes going, oh, they're closed. Oh, I can't contact them. And they don't care and they don't love me. And they do. And if they don't, ring somebody else. So make a call to the TAFE or to your training organisation, to the person who got you involved maybe with the organisation or with WorldSkills to start with, and ask them to help you. You have to be proactive in this. You can't sit back on your haunches and wait for the world to open and for us to come knocking on your door with a training plan and hand it to you. This is the start of your journey. It's the way you're going to start. It's the way you're going to end. So you're going to have to push through and find your person. Don't be afraid to go for the scary person. Don't pick that TAFE teacher that you's all cool and you doesn't actually do very much. And, pick the person that you're terrified of, because they, as a general rule, have the highest skill level. And the reason you're terrified of them is because they're so passionate and they don't suffer fools lightly and they want people to succeed. So they're the person that you want to contact. It's so much easier to go with I'll just get that cool guy at work to be my training person. We'll just go and have beers on a Friday night. That's not going to work. You're not going to get much. If you don't have any love with your TAFE, there's other people you can contact. You can contact your team leaders. So every region will have team leaders assigned to them. If you don't know who they are or you have no love with your team leaders, then contact your regional coordinators and they'll put you in touch with somebody. So they may make the phone call to the scary teacher at TAFE if you're not having any love from there, or they may have access to somebody like Lily or Patrick or Josh or Ryan, past competitors. Now, these past competitors have had the most amazing experience and they just want to pass on what they know already to the rest of you. So they're there to help. We're all there to help. Worst case scenario, call the office, and now everyone at the office hates me because I don't want you to really call them. But these guys have been there and done that. We've all of us, as was said earlier, have given up our time. We're all volunteers and we're only here because we want you to succeed. And if you can see, I can see Patrick and Brendan's and I've got mine on. You can't see because I'm only little, but we're all wearing our Australian shirts. Can you see? Yep, there we go. We're all wearing our Australian shirts. Now, I'm 5'2", and there is no way knowing I was ever going to represent my country in any sort of athletics. If someone throws a ball at me, I duck. If you find me running, run, because zombies are chasing me. But I've had the opportunity to represent my country 10 times now as part of WorldSkills. you know, and besides being in the army, it was the only other way I was ever going to wear the Australian coat of arms. And to put it on makes me so proud. And I don't care whether it's the Australian coat of arms or the Tasmanian coat of arms, because I'm from Tassie. If one of my competitors gets up there on the podium, whether it be at a national event or at an international event, I'm proud and they are proud. And we're all proud of you and the journey you're undertaking. And good luck.
Rachel, a brilliant way to finish on behalf of, I guess, WorldSkills. And what else can I say? I just want people to remember what you've said. Everyone here is volunteering their time to help and support. So I want to thank the panel here tonight that have given their time to prepare for this and to be part of this. And it's not just this. They do a lot for WorldSkills. The guys that you see on the screen and all the people that sit behind the screen as well, and the people out there that you're going to be working with over the next 12 months. We all look forward to your journey over the next 10 to 12 months. We look forward to seeing you at the opening ceremony and the closing ceremony and watching you participate and showcasing your skills in Perth next year. Remember, we're on the way to WA and we're now training our way to WA. So some of those slogans are pretty catchy and a lot of good fun. And you're going to have the fun and the hard work on the way. But please, on your behalf, I do want to thank the panel that we've got here tonight. Those you can see on the screen, Patrick and Brendan, Rachel, Lily, Donna, and off screen, Josh, Ryan, and I think I've covered everyone. So they've been fantastic tonight again, giving some great advice. Please take on board what they say. Leave here tonight and get excited and get that passion that Rachel talked about, and let's actually make some great things happen. There will be a survey at the end of tonight. Please give us some feedback and advice. I imagine the chat session has been going fairly well tonight. We haven't been able to see that on the panel here because we're focused on presenting to you guys, but we'll hear what some of the questions and responses are a little bit later. So we thank you for your contribution tonight. Thank you for your time. I'm going to finish with a video to really get you going. It's the closing ceremony of the last international competition in Kazan in Russia in 2019. If this doesn't get your blood boiling at the end and get you really excited, nothing will. Thank you for joining. Have a great week, everyone, and let's talk again soon. Bye for now.
Privyet. Salam. Hello and welcome to the 45th WorldSkills competition.
Im Namen aller Teilnehmerinnen
I promise that we will officiate
наши обязанности с полной беспристрастностью.
That skills change lives. Make new friends and create lasting memories. And of course, enjoy yourselves.
45-й мировой чемпионат по профессиональному мастерству по стандарту WorldSkills объявляю открытым.